So our 460 had dealer fitted central locking. I don't think this was a factory option. And for a few years, the thing has been temperamental. You push the button, sometimes it works as here and sometimes it doesn't. And on some doors, it just gave up the ghost and just wouldn't work. So you'd have to unlock it with a key, and it was driving me a bit crazy. So after having a look at it a few times, I thought it's actually the central locking motors which have given up. So this is a door after I've done it. It's working well. So it was time to replace the motors, and this requires gutting of the door. Having done this a few times, it takes me about 30 or 40 minutes now. They're the two screws for the electric motor for the passenger door. That's the locking mechanism which is going to have to come out. At this point, the window frame are out. That adjustment screw, I think, is to alter the strength of the old motor's pull. And I played with it, I had it all out, I thought I'd fixed it, I put it back in, it made no difference. So it's time to replace the whole thing. Now you can see the new motor here, which I think is on the 463s that were just superseded. And here's the German motor. I bought this from the Classic Centre. It's got a harness with several clips on it now. I think this is a sort of one motor fits all. So perhaps they're for the driver's master door. That's the old door, which actually only requires two wires intact. So you've got to take out the lock. You can see the new screws because I've had this out several times and I'd replaced the screws before. That clip has to come off for your door handle control. Just flick that up and watch where it flies off. There it is. And then basically just push the rod out. And you can see how that controls the lock from the interior. So we're now ready to take the actual lock, that door handle off, and there is one 10mm bolt comes out. There we go. Then there's another one on the inside. You just slide the handle forward, door handle comes off. The motors and the lock have been undone now with the two screws and I think the three for the door lock, and you can see how it's attached by the rod. So I replaced that rod at the same time. There's the old harness. Two of the wires have been sort of taped up. Again, I don't know the purpose of them. And so here is the blue and white wires for the old motor. There's the new harness. So I've actually ended up detaching that clip and just soldering the wires of the old one on to extend them. So you can see there is a size difference between the two motors. The old one is larger, although the width is the same. And this is just me testing it, plugging it straight in, and you can see at least it's getting power. And so there is a harness wiring size difference which I needed to sort out. So there's the old connecting rod to the motor, which I just bought a new one anyway. It probably makes no difference. Also, all of the plastic clip which holds that rod into the door lock, that's the part number. And that basically, you can see the old one's sort of been haggled together to stay in. So the new clip makes it a lot nicer. The rod is firm. And then you have to position the actual new motor, which is shorter. So I've put the old one on the outside, holding it in with the Allen keys to its sides, and seen where the rod's supposed to be extended and retracted. I've then put the new motor over this template, marked the holes and drilled new holes in, and that's enabled me to position this. This is looking down the channel of the window just to check it works before I screw it all in there and get it going, and that's looking promising. So to wire it up, I've cut the blue and white wires off the old motor, which are no longer needed, and this is very roughly just checking it's all going to fit. So I then removed the connecting clip from the new motor, soldered on the old blue and white wire, which actually I got the polarity wrong, and then wired in and put the insulation on. Whilst I was there, I replaced the window harness, which I'd bent on a previous exploration a while ago. That actually wasn't that expensive. And you can see here now, everything's tied in there. It's clipped. You can see I've got two holes and I'm gonna have to fill them with grommets. And everything is now looking a lot more reliable. And happy days. The kids won't have to bug me about getting into the car.